Okay, here we are, Swiss Tracks. The beauty to this flooring is its design. So even though you think it's two colors, it's actually one, and it's see-through. The reason that's good is all the dirt, rain, and water falls beneath it. This is how we actually unbox it and start the layout procedure. All right, Chris is going to demonstrate the template so you can cut the floor. This is how we do it. We take a portion of the box. He sticks it underneath the track so he can get the right edge. He cuts it, and now with that guide or template, we're able to use to cut the floor, because when we lay the floor over the track, you can see through it. Let me see that template. So here, once we start laying down the track, we will mark this and cut it out. Chris, explain how the track starts and lays out.
So you've got male and female tabs.
Speak up.
And you want these to have the female tabs off to the right and down.
Perfect.
So that they interlock just like that.
Perfect, Chris. Hey, here's what we do first. Chris?
So when you're laying out your floor, you start with a row of 7 and then a row of 11. That way,
7
the
and 11.
Fourth square here, you're going to line up the center line here with your center seam that you started. Careful. And then with your second row of 11, just like Phil's doing, you're going to put the edge to the edge of the track.
Okay, and then you do this side.
Go down to you.
And that's the row of 11, the edge up. Here's the row of 7, where you have to center it on the seams. I hope you can see the screws down there. There's the seam.
And then we just put one full box on top so it doesn't move around on it.
Full box to make sure it doesn't move around. Now, it's critical that on your first tile, the center point, you are right about where the track is. If you don't follow this step, you'll have a bunch of really small corners in the circle. As soon as you put weight on that track so it doesn't move around, you immediately start grabbing tiles and go left to right. It goes rather quickly. All right, we're making great headway on the floor. It's important you get weight down on the floor so it doesn't slide around. Philip's going to show you using our guide how to cut the floor. Here you can see the light coming through, and he's going to mark it so he can cut it.
The best way to do it is to line it up perfect with the track and then back it off about a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch to account for the thickness of your marker. I like to draw these arrows to show the curvature side so that I don't accidentally trace the straight side.
Perfect. Here's another spot Phil's
Lining it
doing.
up. I could use a flashlight also from the top side so that I could see.
Remember, he's peeking down through the track so you can see my fingers underneath the track, how he's getting his lines.
So we're looking down through the floor to the track, lining it up, tracing our line.
Perfect. That's how that line looks. That's going to be our cut line. All right. Chris just keeps flying along. We help him by pre-stacking some out so he doesn't have to get up off the floor. Philip is putting a brand new steel cutting blade in there. Now, no, we're not going to cut steel, but this really makes a nice smooth edge. So put in a fresh wheel. All right, it's time to cut the floor. Philip's going to narrate this for us. Remember, he is going to follow his line that we use the guide for. Chris?
I'm just going to cut straight on the line, and I like to let the blade do the work and steer it with your rear hand there. So
He's also looking through the floor as he cuts. Go ahead, Philip. You can see now, as the floor lays down into the track, how smooth the cut is. Perfect, Philip. I'll lift that so they can see the cut piece. Perfect. Hey, listen, Chris has got a great, helpful tip. Phil has cut all the pieces, and now he's going to reuse it.
So with all this extra cut off, you can actually hold off on filling in the back sections. For example, right here, we can use these pieces to lay in and fill in to save on floor.
Oh, amazing. Great tip. Here's another example of Phil cutting in a nice clean line and just running down through it. There's Chris on a mission to find pre-cut tiles to fill in the gaps back here. Chris, while he's doing that, Phil is marking up his line. Chris has found some spare tiles and he's going to fill in the holes. This is an important step so you don't waste a lot of tile. And where that just fell apart, we usually put tile underneath it to give it a little height, so when you snap it together, just like that, it's much easier and effective. Perfect. All right, Philip just finished the floor. Thank you, Philip. And as you can see, the line is perfect. Look at the line, and look how high the shims are. The line is perfect all the way around the studio. That's how you know you did a good job. Scanning the floor, look for high points above the floor. I see one over here. Walk around and make sure you push them all down. See how this floor is not fully down? Just push it down. Perfect. That concludes the installation of the floor. We stack the boxes of the empty floor, break down the ones we don't need. We are going to stack the plastic to start assembling the booth on those boxes.